So let me ask you something. Have you ever heard of a health savings account, or HSA, and wondered what exactly is it? It's one of those things people talk about a lot when it comes to saving money for medical expenses, but the details can feel kind of fuzzy. An HSA isn't just for covering doctors' visits or prescriptions. It's also a powerful savings tool with some major tax benefits that most people aren't fully taking advantage of. Today, I want to walk you through exactly what an HSA is, how it works, and why it might just be one of the smartest ways to save money for both your health and your future. All right, let's get into it. First things first, what is an HSA? A health savings account is basically a special savings account that's designed for people with a high-deductible health insurance plan. Now, you might be wondering, what's so special about it? Well, here's the deal. The money you put into an HSA can be used for qualified medical expenses, and it comes with some pretty amazing tax benefits. So let me break that down. The first big perk is that the money you contribute to your HSA is tax-deductible. That means it lowers your taxable income, so you're essentially paying less in taxes. For example, if you contribute $3,000 to your HSA this year, that's $3,000 that won't be taxed as part of your income. Pretty nice, right? But it gets better. The money in your HSA grows tax-free. So, if you invest it, which yes, you can actually invest the money in your HSA, it can grow over time without you having to pay any taxes on the earnings. And finally, when you withdraw the money to pay for qualified medical expenses, it's also tax-free. So, it's triple tax advantaged, which is a rare and incredible benefit. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. What qualifies as a qualified medical expense? It's actually a pretty broad list. Things like doctor visits, prescriptions, dental care, eyeglasses, even certain over-the-counter medications. All of those count. And one of the cool parts is that you can use your HSA funds for medical expenses for you, your spouse, or your dependents. So it's flexible in that way too. But there's one catch I want to highlight, and this is important. To open and use an HSA, you have to be enrolled in what's called a high-deductible health plan, or HDHP. That's a type of insurance plan where you pay a higher deductible before your insurance kicks in to cover the costs. Some people shy away from these plans because of the upfront costs. But here's the thing. If you're relatively healthy and don't have a lot of medical expenses, an HDHP paired with an HSA could save you a ton of money over time. Now let's talk numbers for a second, because I think this will help it all click. In 2025, the IRS allows you to contribute up to $4,300 per year if you're an individual, or $8,550 if you're a family. And if you're over 55, you can contribute an extra $1,000 as a catch-up. So, if you're looking for a place to stash some cash and save on taxes, an HSA can be a great option. But here's something not everyone realizes. You don't have to spend the money in your HSA right away. A lot of people think, oh, I'll just use it for this year's doctor bills, and that's totally fine. But if you can consider leaving the money in there and letting it grow. Here's why. Unlike a flexible spending account, or FSA, the money in an HSA doesn't expire. It rolls over year after year, and you can even invest it like I mentioned earlier. So, if you don't need to use the funds right now, it can actually become a long-term savings tool for healthcare costs and retirement. Think about it this way. We all know healthcare expenses tend to go up as we get older. If you can save and invest that money now, you'll be in a much better position to cover those expenses later without dipping into your retirement savings. And trust me, future you will thank you for this. Now, I know what you might be wondering. What happens if I take money out of my HSA for something that's not a qualified medical expense? Good question. If you're under 65, you'll have to pay taxes on the withdrawal and a 20% penalty, which isn't fun. And this is a big but, once you turn 65, you can take money out of your HSA for anything, not just medical expenses. You'll still pay regular income taxes on those withdrawals, but there's no penalty. So, in a way, it functions a bit like a traditional retirement account, but with better tax benefits when you use it for healthcare. So, is an HSA right for you? If you're eligible for a high-deductible health plan and you're looking for a smart way to save from medical expenses while also getting some tax benefits, it's definitely worth considering. And if you can leave the money in there and invest it, it could become a powerful tool to help you cover future healthcare costs. And before I wrap up, I'd love to hear from you. Do you already have an HSA? Or is this something you're thinking about starting? Drop a comment below and let me know your experience.